I shouldn't be telling you this. In fact, the more I say, the more dangerous it gets, not just for me, but for you too. But keeping quiet hasn't made the nightmare stop, and maybe if I share it, someone else will understand. Maybe you'll think twice before stepping into an elevator when the clock hits 3 a.m. Asterisk, you see. Elevators aren't just machines, they're doors, thresholds, and sometimes, they don't open where they should. I learned that the hard way, and ever since that night, I can feel eyes watching, waiting, punishing me for speaking about it. Asterisk, but silence is worse. Silence means pretending it didn't happen, that it was just some hallucination in the dark. It wasn't, it was real, every second of it. Asterisk, so, if you're listening, listen closely, because this isn't a story, it's a warning. Asterisk, that night had started out like any other. I was dragging myself home after another endless shift, the kind of exhaustion where your bones feel hollow and even your eyelids ache. The lobby of my building was nearly deserted, its fluorescent lights buzzing faintly overhead, giving everything that washed out sickly glow. Asterisk, I remember glancing at my phone to 57 a.m., too late, or too early, depending on how you look at it. My brain was foggy, my body begging for bed. The elevator doors slid open with their usual metallic groan, and I muttered something under my breath about this building's cursed elevator. It was a joke, the kind of sarcastic remark you make to break the silence. Asterisk, the place smelled faintly of cleaning solution, and I could still hear the janitor's mop bucket sloshing somewhere down the hall. It was almost comforting, that reminder that life was still going on, even at this hour. Asterisk, I didn't think twice as I stepped into the cab. Just another ride, just another night. The hum of the motor was steady, the mirrored walls reflecting back a tired version of myself. Normal, boring, safe. Asterisk, at least. That's what I thought. Asterisk, the moment I pressed the button for the 7th floor, I noticed it didn't glow. Usually, a soft orange light flickers on, a tiny confirmation that the elevators heard you. But this time, nothing. I pressed again, harder, then jabbed the closed door button like I always do when I'm impatient. Still, no light. Asterisk, the doors shut anyway, and the elevator began its slow ascent. The hum was different now, lower, more strained, almost like the motor was grinding its teeth. I chuckled nervously, muttering, great, just what I need stuck in a tin can at 3 a.m. Perfect. Asterisk, that's when I noticed the reflection. The mirrored steel panel was warped, like someone had taken a fingertip and smudged reality across it. My face looked longer, thinner, and for a second, I swear my reflection blinked a fraction of a second too late. Asterisk, before I could even process that, the elevator lurched hard. My stomach dropped as it jolted to a stop between the 4th and 5th floors. Silence followed, thick, suffocating silence. Asterisk, I told myself it was mechanical, just old wiring, just bad maintenance. But my pulse was already hammering, because deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Asterisk, I leaned against the wall, trying to laugh it off, when I saw it something moving in the reflection. Just a blur at first, like a shadow cast from behind me. But the elevator was empty. I spun around, expecting, I don't know, another tenant, a prank. There was nothing. Just for steel walls and the stale hum of machinery. Asterisk, I turned back to the panel, my throat tightening. The reflection still showed it, a faint dark figure standing just over my shoulder, too close. Asterisk, that's when the knocking started. Slow, deliberate thuds from the other side of the doors. 1, 2, 3, each knock vibrating through the metal. Too heavy to be random, my heart rattled against my ribs as I jabbed the emergency button, holding it down like my life depended on it. Asterisk, silence. Then a click, followed by a voice on the intercom. At least, it was supposed to be a voice. What came through sounded wrong, distorted like radio static shaping itself into words. I couldn't make them out clearly, but it repeated my floor number over and over, stretched into something guttural. Asterisk, CI Venth. CI Venth. Asterisk, I shouted, begged for help, but the voice only grew quieter, more distant, as if retreating into static. The shadow in the reflection didn't retreat, it leaned closer. Asterisk, that was the moment I realized I wasn't stuck alone. Something else was here with me, something that wanted the doors to open. Asterisk, the elevator shuddered, then jerked downward. My knees buckled as it dropped past the lobby level, past the basement. The digital display flickered violently. 3-2, B1, B2, then symbols I didn't recognize. Twisting lines and broken shapes that shouldn't exist on any panel. Asterisk, I slammed every button, but nothing responded. The hum deepened, vibrating through the floor, rattling my teeth. It felt like we were descending forever, sinking into some place far beneath the building, far beneath the city. My ears popped, pressure building like we were miles underground. Asterisk finally, with a violent lurch, the elevator stopped. My stomach twisted as the doors groaned open. Asterisk, but it wasn't the basement. It wasn't any floor I'd ever seen. Asterisk, a corridor stretched out, impossibly long and dimly lit. No doors, no signs, just cracked concrete walls fading into blackness. Asterisk, and the shadow and the reflection, it was gone. Asterisk, I stood frozen at the threshold, every instinct screaming at me not to step forward, yet some awful pull urging me to cross into that endless hall. I lifted one foot, the air cold against my skin, when the doors slammed shut with a metallic snap that nearly caught me. Asterisk, the elevator roared back to life, shooting upward with bone-rattling speed. My stomach flipped, ears ringing, as if gravity itself had been abandoned. The lights overhead flickered violently, then burst, plunging me into blackness. For a heartbeat I thought I could hear breathing in the dark right beside me. Asterisk then, just as suddenly, it stopped. Smooth, silent. Asterisk, the lights came back. The panel glowed calmly. L lobby asterisk, the doors slid open, and there it was, the same cracked tile, the same buzzing fluorescent lights. My phone read 3 a.m. sharp, as though not a second had passed, but I knew it had. Since that night, things haven't gone back to normal. My phone rings at 3 a.m., no caller ID, only silence on the other end, except for the faint hum of an elevator. Sometimes, when I walk past the lobby, the doors slide open on their own, as if waiting for me. Asterisk, I'm telling you this because you need to be careful. If your building has an elevator, check the time before you step in. Asterisk, and if you ever hear your name whispered in the steel walls, don't answer, because by then it's already too late.